What's good, YouTube? Andre Dorsey here with the DM Network, and I want to welcome you to the second episode of the DM Network's X's and O's. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button because it really helps us out to reach our goals here as content creators. Now, to get straight down to it, I mentioned this on Twitter, and I talked about Jalen Hurst because Jalen Hurst is transferring to the University of Oklahoma, aka QBU. You know what I'm saying? Because they have been cranking them out. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and even before that, Sam Bradford. It's been some good quarterbacks come through. Like Troy Aikman played Oklahoma for a little bit, but I have to digress, y'all. And I see some people that are excited about Jalen Hurts going to Oklahoma, and I see some people who are like Oklahoma's making a mistake taking this guy. Now, Oklahoma's quarterback, who would have been next in line, is transferring to West Virginia, and they are allowing him. They're waiving him having to sit out a year. See, normally if you transfer within a Division I program, or the big D1, you would have to sit out a year. But I found out that's really up to the school. And so Oklahoma says, you know what, it's fine, let him play. He doesn't have to sit out. So they waived that. And so he's going to get to play immediately. Also, Tate Martell transferring to the University of Miami, the U. And from what I've heard, I don't think he's going to have to sit out as well. At first I heard he was, but then I heard that he isn't. So we'll just stick close to that. But we are talking about Mr. Jalen Hurst, y'all. And I am standing firm on this when I say this kid is going to win the Heisman Trophy. This kid is going to lead Oklahoma to the finals of the playoffs next year, all given the fact that he stays healthy. I am extremely happy for Jalen and for him transferring to Oklahoma of all places, because Lincoln Riley has been doing a phenomenal job with not the offense at Oklahoma. He has. He's been doing a phenomenal job from Baker Mayfield to Kyler Murray and now Jalen Hurst. And to me, if you ask me personally, out of sheer athleticism, Kyler Murray is the most athletic of the three. But in my opinion, Jalen Hurst is the complete package. He has, in my opinion, the athleticism, while it may not be as good as a Kyler Murray, it's better than Baker. And in my opinion, well, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I'm gonna say this: out of three, I like Jalen Hurst the best, and that's tough because Kyler Murray is a phenomenal athlete, and he's gonna probably end up, if he chooses to, play in the NFL, which he elected to enter into the draft, but that doesn't mean he's gonna play. A first round pick at about 5'9", maybe 5'10" at the quarterback position is just astonishing in itself in this day and age in the NFL. But like I told y'all before, the NFL is switching over. It's becoming more like college. So you have bigger, you have a more spread out offense and stuff like that. I mean, everything looks a lot better. It's looking more and more like college football. So you're going to have players that fit the mold of college football that's going to be able to get out there and compete, that otherwise, may have issues competing in the old style of the NFL. Quarterbacks are protected a lot more. So the concern with him taking hits is lessened to a degree, but yet and still, that issue is still there. Now, with these guys, Jalen Hurts. Now he comes to Alabama, and I remember watching the game where Nick Saban put him in the first. I want to say it was the first game of the year, and really he never looked back. Ended up leading Alabama to a national championship, winning a national championship, if I'm not mistaken. And then here comes Tua. The following year leads Alabama back to the national championship, and what happened? Tua gets put in, closes the game. He becomes a starter for this past season, and is a Heisman finalist. And people was like, "Oh, he's so much better than Jalen Hurts. He's better than Jalen. He's better than Jalen." Y'all, I'm gonna be honest, man. Jalen was never a bad quarterback. It was almost like people had amnesia. It's like people forgot that Jalen, as a freshman, led Alabama to the national championship. It's like people forgot, you know, that what he did for that program. You see what I'm saying? I just don't get it. Yes, he was young. He wasn't going to be the best passer. Yeah, Tua's young too. Tua was young and he lit it up. Good for him. That doesn't mean that Jalen Hurst is a bad quarterback. Jalen Hurst is a starter on any team in this nation at the quarterback position. And him sitting out this year, people, there was the trade rumors, or I mean the transfer rumors. Jalen came out and said, no, I wasn't ever going to transfer and this and that. He stays there, and in the biggest game to get them to where they went in the national championship, even though they lost, it was Jalen who got them there. Helped get them there in the SEC championship game. And now he transfers, and people will say, well, why would he transfer? Why do you want to transfer? First of all, he graduated. So he's no longer tied to Alabama. He could go wherever he wants. He's a graduate transfer, and so that means he doesn't have to sit out a year. So that means we will see him this season. And also, Tua's little brother has signed with Alabama. So you see what I'm saying? If I was Jalen, I would probably transfer for my last year as well. And looking at what Oklahoma has done as a team, as well as what they are doing for their quarterbacks, you cannot be upset with that guy for going to work under Lincoln Riley. I mean, it makes sense. He is trying to get to the NFL. What better way to get to the NFL than go play for a guy who has produced 2 Titans at the quarterback position? Baker Mayfield is lighting it up for the Cleveland Browns. Kyler Murray, whether he goes baseball or football, he is going to be great. I mean, come on, y'all. What better way to further develop? Because Alabama has never been known for quarterbacks. They haven't. Tua and Jalen, in my opinion, has been 2 of the most prolific quarterbacks that Alabama has had in modern years. You see, in the past couple decades. You look like A.J. McCown. Where did he go? He didn't really do much. They just never really been known for their quarterbacks. You see, Tua and Jalen have been the best versions of quarterbacks that we've seen at Alabama. And Nick Saban has even said that he never goes for the 5-star top quarterback recruits because he doesn't want his offense centered around a guy that if he gets hurt, then you don't have any production. That's why he's always going after running backs. That's why Alabama has a stable of running backs, a stable of wide receivers. And the quarterbacks aren't bad. Don't get me wrong. But Tua and Jalen has been the best quarterbacks that Alabama has had. Now Nick Saban is in a situation where you've got a quarterback that your offense is really driven on. He's getting to that point. But yet and still, Jalen transfers to Oklahoma. And to me, there couldn't have been a better match. I think that Jalen will be the guy that leads Oklahoma to the national championship. Oklahoma is in the Big 12. Jalen Hurst has been playing in the SEC. He has been playing against offenses. He's been playing against defenses that the Big 12 struggle with. We've seen what happened with Oklahoma and Kyler Murray against Alabama, and Kyler Murray did have a very good performance in the second half, but you got to look at it like this. Alabama was ahead so much in that game that they didn't have to continue with that same game plan. You see, did they turn it back on? Yeah, but if Alabama wanted to, come on, be real, man. You see what I'm saying? The game changes when you're up 21-0. Your game plan changes. But yet and still, Jalen has practiced against one of the best defenses in college football. And he has played several times against a Clemson defense. He has experienced the best talent in NCAA. He has played against those guys. So him going to the Big 12, which is a big passing conference. They pass the ball a ton in the Big 12, more than the SEC. He is going to develop very well. Now, he had phenomenal numbers at Alabama. You see what I'm saying? He had some good numbers. Don't get me wrong. Let's not doubt that. But the guy has played against the toughest defense. Is going to a conference where defense, it's not known for defense. So he is not only going to get the development and the playing time that he so much deserves, but he is also going to be able to develop and put up some numbers that's going to help his draft stock. Now, him working with Lincoln Riley, like I said, he's done a phenomenal job with Kyler Murray and also with Baker Mayfield and the entire Oklahoma offense. I'm excited. I am definitely eyes on Oklahoma this upcoming season because Jalen Hurst, I don't see how people can talk negative about this kid because he didn't transfer. He stayed there when he got his shot. He made the most of it and won them that championship game in the SEC championship. And I mean, he was just a great teammate, a great player. When Saban needed him, Jalen was there. I don't know why they didn't go to him more in the national championship game, but that's neither here nor there. Could that have something to do with him transferring? I don't know. I really just think that he looked for the best possible situation for him. And he's doing that. I said that in the last video, talking about Tate Martell transferring and the Justin Fields transferring. And people get upset when these guys transfer. They have to do what's best for them. I understand you're a fan and you want this guy and you look at it as a trader, but you're not paying their bills because guess what? They're not getting paid. They are playing in college to get to the NFL to get paid, and they have to put themselves in the best position possible. I love it. I love it. Why? Because it's going to start making these coaches be accountable. It's going to start making these coaches who recruit these players and make these ridiculous promises accountable. Kyler Murray transferred from A&M because he was promised something that he didn't get. And people trashed this kid. Oh, you're entitled. You're just spoiled. You just want everything handed to you. This guy transferred to Oklahoma, sat behind Baker Mayfield. And when he got his shot, he not only won the freaking Heisman Trophy, but he almost led Oklahoma to the national championship against a very good Alabama team. You see what I'm saying? Not only that, but the kid is phenomenal in baseball. He played this past season with a $4, $5, $9 million contract from the A's and balled out. He didn't have to play for them. If he was selfish, he would have just went to baseball. No, he wanted to play football. The A's allowed him to play another year of college football. They could have said, no, if you sign with us, you can't play football. But they let him play because he wanted to play. That don't sound like somebody selfish to me. And having a multi-million-dollar contract sitting there waiting for you and still going out balling the way that he did, winning the Heisman Trophy and everything. Come on, man. That's not selfish. That's a kid that wants to make it somewhere. And because of that decision, he is sitting in a position that a very minuscule amount of people will ever in history find themselves sitting in. First round pick in the MLB, first round pick in the NFL. And he gets to pick what road he wants to go down. You cannot ask for it better. And he's not even the biggest, tallest guy. You see what I'm saying? So don't knock these players for doing what's best for them. Don't knock them. Justin Fields going to Ohio State, everybody was like, why would he go there with Tate Martell? He talks to those coaches. It is something that those coaches told him that led him to believe that if he goes there, he's not going to have to play under Tate Martell. And everybody that knows Justin Fields, see his play, see Tate Martell's play, know that Justin Fields is a better quarterback. Tate Martell is leaving, going to Miami. Hey, I think he'll do very well in Miami. I think that he will. Good for him. You see what I'm saying? There's no shade. Shouldn't be any shade thrown. You got to do what you got to do. These guys are trying to make it somewhere. So Kyler Murray's sitting in a very good situation right now. You know? Now, what do I think that he'll choose? I believe that he'll choose, I think that he'll go football. I think that because Kyler likes baseball, but he loves football. If baseball was so important to him, he would not have played at Oklahoma. He would not have played that last year in Oklahoma. He would have went to baseball. But he did. And can you imagine, had Kyler not transferred, or say he went to Oklahoma to begin with and he was a 2 or 3 year starter, where he would be at? You see what I'm saying? This guy has not fully dedicated himself to football or baseball because he played baseball at Oklahoma too. You know, can you imagine where he would be if he dedicated solely to football? Amazing. Now, all of us football fans want to see him in the NFL, but I want what's best for Kyler Murray. Kyler, if you want to go to the MLB, brother, you do what's best for you. You do where your heart is at because whatever you do is going to take 150% dedication and commitment. It's just like doing these videos as a content creator. I have to, I used to say, guys, what content would y'all like to see? But I can't do that. Nick from Back Pocket Game Reviews told me he's been a good mentor. Whenever I've asked questions, he's always been there to guide me and stuff like that. And he told me, don't worry about what people want to see. You got to do what's best for you, what content you like doing. Because if you do what people want you to do and that's not what you want to do, then you're going to get burned out. And so on my channel, I'm doing what I want to do. That's why you see a lot of different stuff. So I'm separating everything into playlists now. Because if you turn on the TV to Fox or say ESPN, ESPN is a channel or a network. That network has different programs or channels. You see, you got First Take, you got all this other stuff. So when you come to the channel here, it's the DM network. In that network are different playlists or channels. You have sports, you have gaming, you have anime. I am putting my passion out here. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same way for these guys playing college ball. Kyler Murray, you got to do what you want to do. What's going to make you happy? Don't do it for the money. I know that's easy to say, I'm not rich. I'm not in your shoes. A lot of people would just go wherever there's the most money. Go with where your heart is. And in my opinion, the best road would be to go try the NFL. And if the NFL don't work, go to the MLB. People will say, well, he sat out of baseball too long, he won't be as good. If Tim Tebow can play baseball in high school and not play baseball again until after his career in the NFL and still almost make it to the MLB, surely Kyler Murray will be just fine. You see what I'm saying? But if you go to the NFL, there's no touching no baseball. I mean, guy, you're going to have to, as a quarterback, if you're playing quarterback, which I haven't heard any teams talking about moving him to wide receiver or running back. So he's going to potentially be one of the smaller quarterbacks, aside from guys like Doug Flutie. He's smaller than Russell Wilson. And I know guys are going to be looking for his measurements and stuff like that, but Oklahoma has an enormous offensive line. He's played against Alabama, which their entire team could be considered a NFL team. So I think he'll do just fine in the NFL. It's just purely guys saying, oh, you're too short to play. How many players? I don't even know why the NFL does that about size. It's so stupid. How many players has the NFL said was too small and they end up being Hall of Famers? Walter Payton, this was in college. He wanted to go to Jackson State. I read his autobiography book. It's a very awesome book. He wanted to go to Jackson State. Jackson State told him he was too small. So he ended up going where did he go? He went to Mississippi Valley. No, he didn't go to Mississippi. It was the other way around. Then he wanted to go to Mississippi Valley, and they told him he was too small. So he ended up going to, I want to say, Jackson State. Let me look that up. I hate not being right on my facts. I read the book. This was back in high school. Let's see where he went to college. But anyway, one school told him he was too small. Jackson State. Okay, so that's what it was. He went to Jackson State. Okay, so because my dad went to Mississippi Valley State. Walter Payton wanted to go to, he was trying to go to Mississippi Valley, but they told him he was too small. And this, you say, well, why wasn't he trying to go D1? Back then, some of the best black athletes, they played in the SWAC conference, the Southwestern Athletic Conference. And then the prominent D1 schools started noticing, hey, these guys are freaking talented. So they started taking the black athletes from there and putting them in their program. That's why you see a guy like Walter Payton and Jerry Rice, and you're like, dude, why weren't they playing D1, big time D1? Because schools back then weren't recruiting black players. You see what I'm saying? They may have had very few, but they weren't picking up these guys. You know, and back then those SWAC teams could dominate those other teams. And these teams, one team took a chance, and there you go. So that's why guys like Walter Payton and Jerry Rice, you didn't see them at a big time school like Ohio State or Michigan or something like that, because back then they weren't taking black kids. If they were very, very few, and recruiting wasn't like it was now. So he wanted to go to Mississippi Valley State, but they said he was too small, so he went to Jackson State, and the rest is history. Jerry Rice actually grew up. My dad grew up around Jerry Rice. He played high school ball with him and everything. I asked my dad, I was like, hey, was Jerry Rice, was he that good back then? And he was like, yeah. And I read Jerry Rice's autobiography, very good book. Said Jerry Rice used to catch bricks with a paper bag. And he just catch bricks, man. He went to Mississippi Valley State, the Delta Devils. You know? So it's the world is changing, man. The world is changing. They told Doug Flutie he was too small. Look what he did. Russell Wilson was taking slack for his size in the NFL. How long did that last? Drew Brees even gets knocked for his size a little bit. Drew Brees barely 6 foot. You know what I'm saying? Just stop telling people that they too small. Look at the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And he playing safety. Do y'all forget? They talked about his size. When you had a guy that played before him named Bob Sanders, who was one of the hardest hitting safeties. Man, for his size, Bob Sanders was 5'8", was lighting guys up. And I remember me, because I'm about 5'8", on a good day. 5'8", 5'9" on a good day, you know. And I remember, you know, was like, man, I want to go to the league, and I look and you don't see a lot of guys your height. And so you draw inspiration from guys that like Bob. I drew inspiration from guys like Bob Sanders, who was 5'8" in the NFL. I was like, okay, so my height is not an issue, you know, but people will make it an issue. I couldn't go to some colleges and play corner because their corners, they wanted their corners to be 6 foot 6'2". You know what I'm saying? To be able to compete with the taller wide receivers. But guys overcome those doubts all the time, man. All the time. So Kyler Murray, I hope that if he goes to the NFL, he has a illustrious career, y'all. But gosh, man, I'm all over this Jalen Hurst thing. I'm all over this Jalen Hurst. That is the biggest news of the college. To me, that's bigger than the national championship. That's bigger, man. Jalen Hurst going to Oklahoma. This is going to be a fantastic year. I hope that everything goes well for him. I hope that he stays healthy throughout the entire season so that we can really see what this young man can do. Because I liked him at Alabama. I think we'll like him a lot more at Oklahoma. What do you think? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Y'all follow us on Twitter at Dmgaming5. On Instagram at _DM_network. That's on Instagram. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, y'all. I got plans. I really have goals, and I love making content. And I really wish that this could be my full-time job, but we don't have the followers yet. It's a sad thing to say, but that's just how business works. You know, it seems like to get noticed on YouTube, you have to have a lot of subscribers or a video that goes viral or something like that. I enjoy doing this, and I would love to do it and get paid. I'm just being real. I've always been real with y'all. I would love to do this and get paid to do it. Because then I could be at home. I could pick my own schedule, make videos whenever I want. I could be my own boss, essentially. Get paid to do what you love. There's nothing else in the world like it. So that's what the subscription helps us. You know, people, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be real. Why I want subscribers. I want subscribers because when you looking to get brand deals and sponsorships, they pay attention to how many subscribers you have. They don't look so much at the person because they have to make something off of it. And I get that from a business standpoint. So that's why the subscriber count is important to me. The views are important. You want people to see the views and stuff like that with the account being monetized. Just trying to make a way that I can make this a living for me, that I enjoy my life and stuff. Because Here's one thing, y'all. You have to do what you enjoy doing. If you go into a job that you hate being at, what do you love to do? And then bust your ass. Excuse my language, but bust your ass to do that. Y'all, I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I do my paper route. Come on from my paper route and I do my videos. I'm uploading my videos, I'm editing my videos all between maybe 7:30 and 7:20 and 9, 10 o'clock. Then I go to a second job from about 5 to 11. 11 to 5. Get off at 5 o'clock. And I got a couple hours to spend with my family, but I'm really kind of catching up on comments and stuff like that. And that's Monday through Sunday. Saturdays and Sundays, I'm not working the second job. I still do my paper route, but yeah, it's a grind. It's a grind, you know. And I'll put out 2 or 3 videos a day. Today I have 2 videos going up. One with this one, the X's and O's, and then I have one a different genre of video. And I got time. I may go ahead and crank another video out because I have a dream and I'm going to work my ass off till somebody discovers us, till somebody sees us and says that I want to give this guy a shot. I like his poise. I like his character. I like his heart. And that voice is awesome. People. Yesterday alone, I was in drive-through at work. I work part-time at McDonald's. And there was like 3 customers within a 10-minute span that told me that my voice, like, oh man, you should be in TV or radio. Or one guy said football sports broadcasting, doing football games. I was, God, I would love that. It's like I wish that somebody who could make that happen could hear my voice and make that happen. God, that would be a dream come true, y'all. To get paid doing something like that. Oh my God. Did you ask for anything else? Now, I know there's a lot of work that go into it. I'm not saying it's easy, but I would much rather be talking there, doing broadcasts for a football game than working at McDonald's or throwing newspapers, but it pays the bills. And so I'm thankful. But that's all I got for right now on this episode of X's and O's. If you like it, y'all hit the subscribe button, please. Like I said, hit the like button and share it, retweet it. One person retweets to another person retweets, another person this or that, or send it. We can spread and we can grow. Get some sponsors on board and we'll be able to do giveaways and stuff like that, and just whatever cool stuff that comes, man. Y'all, I'm just excited because I really like this series because I love talking football. There's always something to talk about in football. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Until next time, thanks for watching and God bless.